Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mancy. I wanted to come to you today to send greetings and blessing and provide an oracle for the day to see what spirit guidance, what higher self, source, angels and guides have to communicate with us. For the highest wisdom for the day is to create, to be a creator, to create, to expand through our thought, to know our thoughts are creative function, and when we move through our emotion, we are moving into a creative pursuit, creative unfolding. So it is very much a time for creation. It is understand what we need to create a better life, to create a better state of being, to create things. One of our first nature is a creator, that of the creator, for like we are like God in that sense. God has created us with this creative aspect. So it is important to stay creative, for when we are creative, we are within the moment of now. We are not projecting in the past or the future. What we need to understand is effort. What kind of effort do we need to produce in order to achieve the desired result? It is not sometimes the biggest effort that will provide the biggest reward. Sometimes small steps are much more fulfilling, much more rewarding than try to make big steps that we fail afterwards and we have to go back to the start. So it is better to move slowly, step by step, and to produce just the right effort. What we need to do is a paradigm shift, is to understand the totality of our life is changing. Everything is changing, shifting, swifting into something better, something new, something different. Is to allow this paradigm shift to happen, to focus our life into love and light, and to let go of fear and doubts. And the general message for us is the higher self, for that is the message of the soul, of the spirit. And so it is important to understand it is a higher self that conducts the flows of our life. And so the more we are able to integrate a higher self, the easier our life becomes, and the more higher self will be able to fuse in, to merge in, to communicate, and to bring in this divine essence of the divine spirit that is part of our inner self. I also wanted to say that within our society we attribute a lot of value to money, for money brings freedom, money brings security, money brings all kinds of things, but in a sense we'll be moving into a society, not quite yet, but we'll be moving into a society where eventually we'll abandon money, where everybody will have all they need once, and then from there we will cultivate wisdom. We're going to cultivate inner wealth. For there is an inner kingdom that we need to discover, and until we believe that life is only outside of us, we will never discover that. For we need to seek wisdom, we need to aspire to it, even we need to struggle to find it. It is necessary to apply that effort and to seek it out within the heart of the flame. For within the heart there is a flame, and it is within the heart of the flame that true wisdom can be discovered. For silence is the greatest prophet of all. So it is. We live in a 12-dimensional matrix as well. For our focus and dimension is a third dimension, mental process, physical second dimension, mental second dimension, and astral emotional fourth dimension. But eventually, those three energies are going to blend into the fifth dimension. Yet understand that everything is aligned on a singular pillar of light. And so as we move into the light, we can align ourselves all the way to the top, to the 13th octave of light, which is the bridge between the higher planes and the lower matrix. So eventually we'll come to discover all those many bodies that we have within all those higher dimensions by aligning. And so one thing that is very important is to understand the sense of priority. For everything in life has meaning, everything has meaning, but there are certain things that have more meaning for us or more value. So it is understand what must come first, what is most important in terms of meaning and value. That relate to how do we spend our time and resources. So those two energies we have to come to learn how to be more wise in relation to how we use our time and resources. In a sense, we are learning to pause, to move into the state of beingness where we are totally fulfilled and content, and from there anything is possible. For it is very important to learn to still our mind and to do this one kind of another of meditation. For we want love, light, and wisdom and power, inner power, to be dominant within ourselves. It has to be. Eventually, this light will consume all things. All the ones ones will become one, and then the great one will become the one. Until there is all those ones are not ones, then there is higher and lower cycles. But in essence, we're going to be merging into this greater light that is coming. There is a great deal of change that are getting ready between 2018 and 2020. Like in the procession of creation of art, we're moving from chaos into cosmos. Everybody starts with a blank canvas, but then most people that would do portraits or landscape will have a certain ideas. They're going to do a drawing, and then they have a certain process that they can already know in their mind how it's going to look from beginning to end. But when I do those kind of painting, or when you look from a more expressionist approach, you have an idea at the beginning, but you allow the painting to teach you and to create an expected thing, and sometimes you have to go into complete chaos in order to in the painting. But at the end, if you work diligently, at the end there is an order, there is a cosmos that is being created where no element of the painting can disturb the other ones. Everything is integrated. What we need to do, if you want to encourage you to create drawings, to music, or to unfold your creative aspect. I mean, even in painting, you do not expect to have the total result right away. It's a process. But learn to, when you do a painting, there is certain aspect that works better than others, and always work on the pieces, parts that do not work, so that you don't need to know how it will look at the end. You need to know what's the next step for you to do. And the same thing in life. We'd never know the end, for there is no end. It is an eternal process of evolution. Yet they are stepping stones, and so we want to know what's the next step. What is the next step that we need to do, and from there we can move on with confidence. It's important to understand that in terms of the heart, love is the beginning and the end. There is nothing that needs to be other than love from the heart. And it is important also to aspire to Christic perfection, or the Buddhist perfection, or the Buddha, the essence of self, the true inner self. It is by looking for that perfection that even if we cannot attain it, that we move closer to the truth. So we need to have faith, we need to have love, and we need to have hope all the time that we are indeed working towards self-empowerment. And we can use the planet to help us, assist us in many ways. For astrology, we are kind of depending on what's going on in the sky in astrology, but you can command those planets to have a certain discussion at any time. No matter where they are in the sky, they can meet through you, and then you call on those planets, and you create the circumstances from the planet. Right now, there is Mercury that's conjuncting Saturn in Sagittarius. It's moving retrograde, so it's passing through. So we understand the process of growth that Saturn has started through Sagittarius, and then it's going to move in January in Capricorn. So it'll be no more time for growth. So growth will have happened, of course, we'll continue to grow, but it's going to be a dismantlement of all the dysfunction, all those things that are not functional within society. Saturn will wash them out, and so we better be prepared and ready for Mercury will return in conjunction with Saturn in January, so it will be a better, clear understanding of what will be happening. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. I wanted to also say the Ankh, the key of eternal life, is a very powerful symbol that we can use. It is the understanding the cross of matter is connected to the spirit self. From when we understand that this body is just an avatar body that's connected to a greater, higher self above, we can bring in the light from above into the physical body, or bring in the solid disk. But we have to learn to align ourselves to this pillar of light and let our consciousness go as high as we can from there. Well, I hope you'll be able to practice this. It is an important aspect and function that we need to retrieve all this part of ourself, of the eternal self. And we're working on it with this Gemini full moon. It'll be a very powerful time that is coming. I'm going to finish with a little song. It's a famous song. It's called Imagine. It speaks of freedom and liberation. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Ooh, ooh. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions, I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger, a brotherhood of men. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. And so it is, and it is so. Amen. I thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.